Hey everybody, it's November 21st, 2012, the day before Thanksgiving. So happy Turkey Day, all you gobblers. We will not be here tomorrow, as I hope you will not either. So first off, happy Thanksgiving. I want to go over my list of thanks here in a few minutes. And I'll welcome your guys' input on that as well. Today, this is the last of our auction selly stuff because we're going to start moving slowly next week. This is a stone pony that's been in Nashville as a loaner for about 4 years, I think. Been used on tons of recordings in Nashville, lots of shows. Lots of artists took it out on tour. It really hasn't had that much use. It just got regular use. So the stone pony is unique in a couple of ways. One of which is it's running, for the most part, the most unique part of it is it runs 7591 power tubes, which are still in production, but not used very much. It has a really unique sound. Let me get down to the clean. We'll start there. 7591s are what were used in a lot of the early Ampeg stuff. So if you like sort of that Mick Taylor era Rolling Stones sound, this is it. It's a little rude. It's a little bit out of control. I'll do some Stone stuff and bring out my telly and we'll do all that. But down on the clean side, this is our bump front end, just like the Soho and the Monterey. The transformers in this are designed for 7591s. I think it has the same power transformer as a Monterey, but the output transformer is different. And the circuit's been tweaked, for these tubes to get the best out of it. Down on the clean, it's really chimey, and it has a really different mid-range notch than 6v6s or EL34s or EL84s. I've got it right on the edge of distortion here, so I can hit it and make it break up just a hair. This is my dark Les Paul, too. Who's calling? Courtney Grilly. Courtney, I can't talk to you right now. Or whoever's calling from your phone. I apologize. So, chime. Who's the first to name this song? You'll get it right now. I'm changing the arrangement, of course. One of my all-time favorite songs I never get tired of. No one has a guess? Hey, Chad. No one knows the song? I'll speed it up and you'll guess. Seriously, nobody gets this? She loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. She loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. With a love like that, you know you should be glad. With a love like that, you know you should. Sing it with me. Be glad. No one got that? Really? Wow, I'm old. I think that's still one of the best written pop songs ever. Lyrics, chord progression, arrangement, everything. Yeah, if you play it slow, you go, man, those kids, they were like 20 when they wrote that song. That was 1963. That was on Please Please Me before they came to the United States, when they were still just a big band in Britain. I say still like it's nothing, but you know what I mean, like before they broke. I mean, but if you slow it down, it's just beautiful. But it's this dissonant note that they hit right here that makes the whole song work. Here we go. That's just amazing. Think you've lost your love, lost her. She says she loves you. You know that can't be bad. And she loves you. Minor 4 didn't go to the major like they're supposed to. Those little rule breakers, minor 4. You know that can't be bad. And then an augmented 5th. That's incredible. And then go down to the minor 6 to a 2 major. 4 minor. All breaking rules. And then a major 7 with a 6 on top. Pretty sweet, huh? Yeah, the minor 4th is a Beatles trademark, and John Lennon credited that to his love, absolute love for Roy Orbison. And that was one of Roy Orbison's little tricks. Lots of minor 4s. John just took it and ran, you know. But anyway, you get the idea. These 7591s have a really cool chime, don't they? I mean, I'm playing a dark Les Paul, right? It just rings like a bell. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's the 6. And there's the 1 5 flat 7 major 3rd 6 1. Anyway, don't get me started on the Beatles. I'm happy about a lot of things today, so you'll hear Beatles today. That's my happy music. So then, okay, so the Stone Pony 7591s does the thing really cool. When you kick it into distortion with our bump, it just gives you that Faces, late 60s, early 70s Stones thing, you know? It's a cool sound, isn't it? And it's different. It doesn't sound like EL34s. It does not sound like 6V6s. Doesn't sound like 6L6s. Doesn't sound like EL84s. It's just a cool sound. Master Sonics. What's up, Charles? ¿Cómo estás, Charlito? So we'll go back to like She Loves You, though, only, you know, we moved it forward 10 years, right? It's just rude, isn't it? Hola, Chilita. What's happening in Puerto Rico, Charles? So you hear the big girth, you know, the 7591s are mid-range notches a little lower than almost every other tube. So when you're in a band and there's a guy on the other side of the stage cranking a normal amp, this just blends right in. You know, like it finds its own notch. It's really cool. I love this amp. I haven't played one in a while. I'm really digging it. Go back down to the clean because the clean's fun too. Good chime, good chime. So just so you know, I want to repeat again for the guys that came on. This is not our normal cabinet. I'm using the new Celestion Creamback 65, which we helped them design, but it's not named 65 after us. That's just the power rating. But we worked with them on that a long time. And an Alnico Gold. So we got two really vintage sounding speakers in here right now. JWRI 9790 says, are you a fan of any chime in a box pedals? I don't know what you mean by that. I've got a couple pedals that I like for chime. That's what our color boost is all about. But I also have a compressor called a Jangle Box that I really like. But other than that, I'm not much of a pedal guy. I rely on a guitar and the amp. I'm kind of primitive, old-fashioned, I guess. Even with a Les Paul, you can get away with. Let's put some verb on there, make it sound like the real thing. I don't want to get the high out. Let's get the low out. Backwards. I hear people talking out in the shop. Ah, there we go. I need a pedal that would make my amp do more chime. What are you thinking about, for example? Marco, hang with me because I want to talk about the move we're doing and everything here real quick, and then we'll get to all the tech talk. Anybody want to buy this thing? Make me an offer. This is the last one I'm selling. I think the list price on it's $2,800. It's Black Wednesday, man. Make me an offer, I'll take it. Well, that's a verb, huh? A little bit of echo. Let me do a single coil. We can really do Beatles stuff. I'll get you a free lunch. Well, it's a start. It's not a bad start. Not a bad start. Let me tune up this Stratoblaster here really quick. And we'll... What in the world? Tangled chords drive me nuts. If I hadn't bought another guitar... Well, Stratocaster Mojo, what are we going to do with you, brother? You don't spend your money. You got guitars. Buy you some boutique amps, baby. Just kidding. Just joking. Well, my Strat stays in tune. Haven't played it in a week. It's just barely off. All right. You think that Les Paul chime? I'm going to give you some single action. Turn all those effects off here real quick. Let's see how it does on the bump. This sounds like a great old lamp, doesn't it? Oh, David Kearns, yeah, my website's out of date. You know what? We're moving, so I'm sorry. It's going to be slapdash around here for a minute. As long as we're pedaling, She Loves You. It's still one of my all-time favorite songs. Verb. You, oh, I'm so tired. Oh, I can do that. Are you gonna sing it? Minor 4 again. Oh no no, I'm so tired. I can do it on the neck pickup, might sound like. Maybe a middle or an off position, out of phase. Number 2 position. Augmented fifth. You see these patterns in the Beatles music? Minor 6 to a minor 4. It's a good song, 9790. You have good taste, man. It's also a fantastic Beatles song. Oh, I'm so tired. I can't remember the words though. I haven't slept a wink. Although I'm so tired. I'm just gonna improvise. Make myself another drink and curse a Walter Raleigh. He was such a stupid get. Oh no no, I'm so tired. Tell me the words, I'll do it. the many thanks I want to give out today, besides loud phones. And the phone says, "What?" Yeah, I used to know. I can't remember Across the Universe. I gotta remember how to play it. It's totally blanked on that. I used to know that song really well, too. Yeah. What is it? Yeah. Or does it go after the F sharp minor? Well, I haven't played this in a decade, I think. That's it. Jackaroo Nothing's gonna change my world. Yeah, we can do Ticket to Ride. Nothing's gonna change my world. Is that close? Words are flowing in like endless rain into a paper coffin. Troy Slab, you're out of the hospital. Right on, Troy. Welcome back, man. Something like that. Is that close? You want Ticket to Ride. Close I can get on a Strat. Let's see what I can do to get the verb a little better here. A lot of verb on that song. Oh yeah, Stratocaster Mojo, it's not a leak. It's a story. It's public consumption. It's fine. I'll tell you in a second. Somebody asked for Ticket to Ride. Let's see if I can pull it off. Might be too clean, huh? I think I'm gonna be sad. Is that right? I think it's today. The girl that's driving me mad is going away. Let's try it with a bump. Maybe the bump turned down. Let me turn the bump down to about 3. See what we get here. That's too dirty. Go down to bump on 1. It's barely bumped. Too much verb, isn't it? That's my Strymon Blue Sky Reverb, by the way. Yeah, this amp will do Paperback Rider pretty good. Let me kick the bump up a little bit. kind of sloppy. You play Ticket to Ride in D? D to D major 7, F sharp minor. D major 7, F sharp minor, kind of the same chord. Yeah, the song's in A, I think. We'll sort that out later. Ticket to Ride, Paperback Writer. Based on a novel by a man named Mary. Need a job and I wanna be a paperback writer. Paperback writer. Who can sing that high? That sort of thing. Hey, Steve. Turn up the verb and play some Jesus and Mary Chain. I don't know anything by Jesus and Mary Chain. Sorry. You know, I didn't listen to the radio for like 20 years or whatever. I was playing my own thing. And you start listening to radio, you start going, oh, I can do that. You know, I was just in a bubble from 1984, 1985 until 1995. Maybe earlier than that. Across the universe, I already did that. Words are flowing in like endless rain to me. The 7591s really sound old, don't they? I mean, it sounds like an old amp. Again, we're not using our normal cabinet, so it's a little darker cabinet than it normally is, but different sounding. For that, don't we? There's a lot of verb. Let's see what we got here. Woo! I turn the decay down, the volume up a little bit. Oh, serious surf verb. It's a lot of verb. More verb. I'll meet you at the station. Be there by 4:30 or I'll kick your freaking butt. Oh, no, no. Does it sound a little bit like Paperback Writer? I wonder why. Yeah, I'm right in the front. I mean, this amp doesn't have a loop on it, so I like it better in the front. There's such an easy joke right after that. Yeah, Danis, I'm not a big reverb guy either, but this Strymon Blue Sky sounds cool. And it's right in the front. You don't need an effects loop. It's big. This kind of verb though, you can do the. I haven't tried the Flint yet. You know, David Ryan Harris has one out here in the shop, and I need to plug it in. I want one. I think I ordered one. I just haven't got it yet. I heard it's great. Yeah. I haven't heard a bad pedal from Strymon, to be honest with you. I think they're changing the pedal world. What other verb tunes can I do? Close. I don't know. Will I ever do reverb in an amp? No. And this is why. Right here. I can never do that in an amp. And if I do it in an amp, I got to raise the price a lot more than this pedal costs. And then you're married to that forever. You can't use anything else, right? Or you paid money for this. You can upgrade this later, and you'll get a new one later. You know, 5 years ago, I would have said, I don't do it because it's a pain in the butt, and it does dilute the signal quite a bit, and, you know, all this sort of stuff, which was valid. But when I heard stuff like this, I went, why? Why would you pay for a spring? I mean, you got that one sound, and it's not near as this thing does all kinds. I mean, look, it has this glimmer switch on here. Listen to this. It's got a hall reverb, a plate reverb, and a spring reverb. And you got cool effects. This thing's killer. You got a modulating reverb, which is basically a chorus. In an amp, I'd have to charge an extra $1,000. I mean, listen to that. You know, that's like the... I mean, it sounds like a Leslie. God, I can't remember how that song goes now. Isn't that amazing? Dan, do you put the verb between the pre and the power sections? I run it right in the front. I like it in the front. I like a little distortion in the reverb. Yeah, this is the Strymon Blue Sky. That's right, Marco. I'll exaggerate it just to show you. I mean, isn't that cool? I mean, Joe, you know, forever everyone ran reverb right in the front. All your favorite old records that have reverb on them, it's just in the front. I don't put any reverb in the amp, though. Oh, is that what you're asking in the amp circuit? I don't build them in the amp. I don't like it in the amp. I thought you were talking about outboard stuff. I apologize, Joe. That's my fault. I mean, that's fantastic, isn't it? Yeah, Stratocaster Mojo. I can upcharge you $300 and give you a Blue Sky, but you can just buy one. My effects loop, though, Joe, is between the last gain stage and the phase inverter. I'll throw some echo on just to be gross here. I couldn't build that. Yes, I run my echo after the verb. It's either way. It's kind of personal preference. I don't think there's any right or wrong when it comes to pedals. Okay, I'm taking any offers on this amp. Who wants it? You might find that I'm surprisingly flexible today because I'm tired of selling old used amps on the internet. Anyway, I'll cut that off. You can hear the real amp with the echo. Can I do a payment plan? One payment? I'd love to finance you, but I can't. I'm sorry. That needs a little dirt, doesn't it? And that echo's too loud. Let's turn that down. A little slower time, faster time. Bump down to 4. This is the Strymon El Capistan. Sing like Cheryl. I woke up in bed this morning. The sound of your voice was a warning. It's 3 a.m. and you're not here. Something like that. Yeah, that's Peter. Well, he didn't play on the record, actually. That's Wendy Melvoin playing guitar from Prince's band. Remember Wendy and Lisa? exaggerate that echo here just to get it right. Man, that sounds good, doesn't it? That's like, this thing is perfect tape echo. Many of you guys who know me personally, you know, I have an old Echoplex 3, you know, the EP3 out here, and that's all I've used since the early 80s. And everybody always, oh man, I got a pedal, you're going to love it. And I go, I don't know, man, I kind of like my Echoplex better. Humming guitar. And my friend Lyle Workman showed me this, who's a studio guy here in town, and he's a composer. He does a lot of movie soundtracks, and he's all about efficiency, you know. And he played this. Dan, you got to come over and hear this, seriously. I went over to his studio and I heard it and went, oh my God. Motion Path, this is a B-stock used amp. I still honor the warranty on it, but it was a loaner in Nashville for a few years. Got some nice use, did a bunch of tours. I will accept, I don't know, where do you want to start at? 1900? You know what they're playing on television now is a mid-70s Stones tour. I think it's Some Girls. And they do the they're really rocking in Boston. Yeah, they do the Chuck Berry song, right? Pittsburgh, PA, deep in the heart of Texas. I recorded it and I've watched it like 5 times now. Around the Frisco Bay, all over St. Louis, down in New Orleans, all the cats want to dance. Yes, Peter is still playing. How are you accepting payment? Oh, PayPal is great, or I can take a credit card. PayPal is Dan at 65amps.com, and I'll include shipping for that price. Sweet little 16, she just got to have about 500,000 famed autograph. Her wallet's full of pictures, she gets them one by one. But tomorrow morning, look out and watch her run, boy, 'cause they'll be rocking in Boston, Pittsburgh, PA. That's what this amp sounds like, is that show. They're all playing Ampegs on that. All over St. Louis, down in New Orleans, all the cats want to dance. Sweet little 16. Sweet little 16. I just got to have. Anyway, no, let's see. Sweet little 16. She's got the grown-up blues, tight dresses and lipstick. She's wearing high-heeled shoes. Mickey Kid, hey, what's up, Mike? Oh, but tomorrow morning she'll have to change her game. And be sweet 16 and back in class again. I'm sorry, I'm happy today, and Chuck Berry is also one of my happy music things. So, when I tell you guys I'm an old rock and roller, I'm an old rock and roller, man. Chuck Berry is the stuff. Loadvar, good questions here. Okay, I'm going to quit playing for a minute and we'll address a lot of subjects that you guys are curious about, because I'm just here nerding out with this amp. It's really fun. I'm sorry. I dig it. Oh, but tomorrow morning she'll have to change again. Be sweet 16 and back in school again. But they'll be rocking in Boston, Pittsburgh, PA. Okay, so let's talk. Wow, good questions. You guys are loading me up. First off, let me address something because the word's gotten out in our business that we're moving. And several of my competitors who are insecure, I guess is the right word, have started telling people that we're moving everything to China. You know where we're moving it? Downtown. Now, there are a lot of Chinese people downtown, and I really resent that statement. 65 is moving. We did a distribution deal with a company called Boutique Amps Distribution. Our crew is moving down there. No parts are going to change in this amp. Nothing is going to change in this amp. Only I'm going to be able to make it better and faster and have buying power that's insane. So I should be able to offer more amps at hopefully a better price. I guarantee you, it is in my contract. The amps cannot change. I have final say over everything. And Mike, our head engineer, is going down there, and Carlos, our builder, is going down there. And it's going to be bigger and better and cooler. And for any of you naysayers out there who are trying to tell people, oh, 65's selling out, get ready for Chinese cabinets and get ready for... Nothing's going to change. No, I can't tell you what builder said that. The thing that most of these builders don't understand is that we have a lot of the same vendors. And I have a good relationship with them. So as soon as something like this happens, they call me and go, hey, man, am I not making your cabinets anymore? Or am I not... I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm probably going to order 4 times what I used to order. So this is my official announcement. I did not sell the company. Nothing is changing. We're making a step forward and doing good things. So what we're going to offer, and this is the problem that a lot of people have, is we're going to offer top quality boutique amps like this, top of the rack, top shelf stuff, and it's going to cost me a lot less to make them because this company, Boutique Amps Distribution, is sinking a fortune into us. And they're taking a lot of risk because they believe in our brand. And I'm very honored. I'm very honored and very flattered that this has come my way. And it's up to me to do a hell of a lot of work to make sure it goes correctly. But it's going to go fantastic, and I am excited about it, which is why I'm sitting here playing my happy music today, because we finished the deal last weekend. So it's called Boutique Amps Distribution. They're going to help me get parts for less, and same parts. I'm not changing a thing. Nothing. The red line is going to change for the better. I'll tell you more about that as it develops, but same parts. No, nothing's going overseas. None of that horse crap. Well, you know what, Rockabilly 12, don't be upset because I'm not upset. Don't be upset. This is part of business. And our market right now is so bloody that when anyone smells a weakness, they'll just start spouting things all over the place. So we're going to take the high road. And I'm going to tell you the truth. And the truth is a fantastic story. So let me move this camera down a little bit because I had my whiteboard on there. The truth is a fantastic story. And it's going to be good for you. It's going to be good for me. And it's going to be good for the amp world because we're going to offer top shelf gear at a lower price, I think. I hope. And also the availability is going to go through the roof. So now, when you call a dealer and say, I want to order an Empire that he doesn't have in stock, and he calls you back and says, yeah, it's going to take 65, 8 weeks, 10 weeks to make it, that's not going to be the case anymore. You know what he's going to say? Give me a credit card. I'll ship it out right now. And that's going to be a huge earthquake in the boutique amp world. We're going to have more labor. We're going to have more distribution, obviously. We're going to have more dealers. We're going to have more sound sales guys. We're going to walk the big boy walk. We're putting on our big boy pants and we're going for it. So I'm really excited and I'm very, very honored that this opportunity has come my way. So if there's anybody from Boutique Amps Distribution watching right now, I am in your favor. So, and you're probably going to see a few other companies that you know end up working with these guys because they're proven, they're fantastic. They already do a lot of work for some really big companies. They have a 125,000 square foot place downtown. We're getting a little small area of that, but we get to share all the overhead, all the labor. The parts buying power is just insane. You know, right now I go buy, 10 sets of transformers or 30 chassis or, I order 30, 40 speakers at a time. That's part of the reason boutique amps cost so much is because we don't have buying power at this level. Fender calls or Marshall calls Celestion and says, give me 400 pallets of speakers. And I call and go, can I have one? And that'll last me for 4 months. Who do you think gets a better deal, right? So anyway, I'm tapping into that buying power. We're going to be able to make them faster. Hopefully what we're going to try to do is build ahead so that we have our most popular things in stock all the time, if we can build that fast. But I want to reiterate, I'm going to be down there. I am still in charge. I have contractual control over the quality of the amps. It's written into the contract that the quality will not go down. My head engineer, Mike Franciscini, who's a big part of our formula, is going to be down there as well. And our head builder, Carlos, who is a wizard, is going to be the master builder down there. We're going to train a few more people. And we're going to be able to buy everything that we buy now for probably 30% less. And get the amps out to you quicker. So that's the story. I know on this broadcast, I always get a few guys from other amp companies that lurk on here. So yes, the reason I wanted to go ahead and make the formal announcement like this is I had 2 vendors call me yesterday. Go, dude, what's going on? You're going to China? I'm like, what are you talking about? So-and-so over there just told me that, yeah, there you go. So yeah, I'm going to have a studio for my show. I will say though, during the interim, during this move and the transition, my show might end up being a little slapdash. I might actually have to do it from my house because we're bugging out of this shop. And I'm going to have a studio here in the East Valley where I can do artist relations and do my show. But I don't see any free time in sorting that out. I mean, I got to go around and look at places and negotiate leases. And I don't see that happening anytime soon. So I might actually have to do this from my living room at my house. So you get to see where I live. So any questions about that before we go? Before we move on to the next subject? So again, don't be angry at anybody. That's just business. That's what happens. There's 2 ways to get business for your company. One of which is to reach out and put your neck out and make good products and hope people appreciate them. The other is to denigrate your competition and try to take business away from them by saying bad things about them. I always try to do the first thing. Ask me about any of my competitors, I'll tell you something great about them. So there's plenty of pie to go around if you make good products. If you don't make good products, then you got to try to kick people in the balls. So there you have it. So yeah, any questions at all? I hear, oh, that's my microphone. The air conditioning is right over my desk. I hear this wind. I'm like, what is that? What does will the recent price hikes be lowered again? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Motion Path, you bought it? Holy Jesus. Let me look here. I don't doubt you. Let me look. I don't see it yet. Okay. Let me get my mail. I don't doubt your Motion Path. Smyrna, Georgia. Yeah, we can still put master voltage on old amps. That's fine. The same guys. I mean, it's the same company. Let's see. Boy, I get so much. There's a cure for diabetes. Bash Pro Shops giving me a thing. Incredible savings on new cars. Perfect Tortilla. Direct Buy Club. Ah, here it is. Wow. Thank you, sir. Let me go ahead and do this. Make sure we've got your shipping address on here and everything. Wow, thank you. Sold! Let me go ahead and write that on the board for people watching the show. Hold on a second. There's going to be a lot of people watching the recording. I get so many emails the day after I do this. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you sincerely. Thank you very, very much. Yeah, what is Mrs. So the recent price hikes will be lowered. Yeah, that's right. Exactly. And possibly even better. Why can't I log in? I'm a nerd. So I know there's a lot of technical questions. My wife is cool. Why is this? Why can't I log in? Wait a minute. My caps lock is on. What a nerd move. I don't have my reading glasses on. I can't see anything. What is the availability of 7591? It's good. It's fine. JJ makes them, and so does New Sensor. I prefer the JJs. We'll go through this and make sure this one's good. If not, we'll get you some new ones. It's no big deal. But yeah, they're available. There's no problem. Okay. So I netted 1844 out of that. Wow, they take a heavy toll, don't they? All right. It's yours. Thank you so much, Motion Path. I won't say your name on here. Let's see. Do I have your shipping address on this? Let's see. Probably do. Oh, right on. Okay, yeah, we're all set. Cool. Right on, right on. Thank you, sir. Dan, I have an original Stone Pony with a Monterey faceplate. Is this Martin, by the way? Do you still have a Stone Pony plate? I want to change it. Yeah. I should. That's no problem. It's kind of a pain in the butt to change them if you want to do it. Motion Path, I just added you to my Thanksgiving thank you list. Thank you. Now we've got our move pretty much paid for. This is very cool. Mooey, 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 cool. I got an email from Wendy Gruel. Not Wendy Boul, my wife. Wendy Gruel. Is this Martin Smyrna? Is it my friend Martin in Smyrna? My wife's from Smyrna, Georgia. So I always remember you because of that. And because you're a hell of a nice dude who is always generous and kind to me. So I'm thankful for you too. Hi, Martin. Good to see you, man. How's things in Atlanta? I miss Atlanta. I haven't been there in a while. I haven't been in the city in, I think, 3 or 4 years now. I've been out to Carrollton, where my in-laws retired, out to Lake Carroll. Seriously, again, Motion Path, thank you. Okay, so let's get back to questions. And I know there was a bunch. I know tomorrow morning. Okay, so we had a question about pedals back here. And I know Marco, if you're still here, Load var voltage. The voltage inside the amps are the same. I'm going to get to you in a second, Mark. Let me get this one because I can get this one out of the way quicker. The voltage inside the amplifiers are the same as they are here in Europe. It's just your wall voltage is different. So our transformer, the power transformer, transforms the wall voltage into necessary voltage for the inside of the amp. In the United States, for example, on this amp, it has to transform 120 volts into 400 or 390 or something. Sold the pony. I'm sending this to my finance person right now. The transformer has to change 120 volts into whatever the tubes need, 325 up to 500 or something, depending on your amp. In the producer's case, it's only 290. But so the transformer in Europe changes 240 to the required thing. That's it. What is different though in Europe, it's not the voltage that makes the amp sound different. The amps do sound a little bit different in Europe because the frequency at which the electricity is coming out of the wall in North America is 60 hertz. And the frequency at which it's coming out of the wall, the standard in Europe, is 50 hertz. Now your question is, why would that matter? Who cares? Well, frequency has sound, right? Like A440 is 440 hertz, right? So 50 hertz is G. It's a low G. And 60 hertz is somewhere between A sharp, somewhere around there. It's not on the scale. When you tune to A440, 60 hertz does not fall into one of the musical notes. Whereas 50 hertz is G. It's the people's key of G. I mean, it's a good sound. So when you're in Europe, and I know I played in England. I lived in England for a couple years and played music. And you get a big Marshall and you hit a big fat G chord on that thing. It just goes, rah! So it just sounds different. And it's not a huge difference at all, but it is different. It does sound different. Better or worse is up to you. Are the European versions of our amps different? Yeah, they are, because the power sections are different to accommodate the different voltages. The transformers are different. Hey, Eric Yar, what's up? Happy Thanksgiving. She loves you key. Exactly. That's right, Lodvar. And the fusing is different because higher voltage means less current. It's a different thing. There's Ohm's law, so you can't just change the leads on the transformer and it works right. It gets for a little dangerous. And our warranty is voided if you do that. I know there's a little bit of a gray market in Europe for getting US versions over there, and then they just, jerry-rig it to make it work. It'll work, but it won't be stable and it won't be safe. It might work for years. It might work for 10 minutes. It just depends. And let's see. Now, Marco, let's get to your question. Jam on Alaya. I can't talk about the other companies. I don't know if you heard me say that or not. Boutique Amps Distribution is a distribution company that has a sales force and a large facility. And so they facilitate other companies doing well. They don't own any companies. They're just a facilitator, and then they take a nice fee for it. About the influence of signal entering the amp. Okay, so what is it specifically that you're curious about? I know you'd mentioned how pedals affect that. Is there any certain thing you're trying to achieve or trying to avoid? Impedance volume, how pedals, analog, digital can affect the tone. Wow, that's a big conversation. Well, the impedance between your guitar and your amp is a relationship that does affect, the sound of the amp. That's why when you're on a wireless system, it sounds kind of plinky because there's no impedance relationship there. Pedals can do that too, especially pedals that are buffered. Sometimes the relationship, when you're on an analog pedal, your guitar is still directly talking to your amp. An old school pedal, you're just putting that signal in the way. If it's a true bypass thing, in the bypass mode, your guitar is still having an impedance relationship with the amp. No, this is different, Danis. I'm going to jump around here. I'm sorry. Premier Builders Guild bought all those companies. This is different. This is just a distribution company. Premier Builders Guild bought, Fano. They bought Two Rock. They bought Tone King. And those companies are operated by Premier Builders Guild. I'm still operating my company. It's still my 65 Corp still exists. There's no change. It's kind of a mirror opposite deal of the Premier Builders Guild. So, does that make sense? Danis Kaulianis. I don't know how to say your name. So anyway, let's get back to Marco's questions here. Hang on one second. The relationship can really change. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Is there a formula for the best sound, just guitar straight into the amp? Dinas. Oh, I'm sorry. God, I always forget. I'm sorry. There's no set formula. It's really just sort of opinion, Marco. Me personally, if I run pedals, I just run them right in the front. I mean, the less, it doesn't matter how well your pedal's made, it's going to degrade the sound of your guitar. You're still going through solder joints and you're still going through jacks, even if it's, perfect true bypass, which is a myth anyway. I mean, if it was true bypass, it would plug your guitar right into the amp when you're done. It doesn't do that. You're still going through all the jacks and solder joints and everything. Even though you're not going through the pedal circuit, you're still going through, wires and solder joints and jacks, and those all degrade the sound. So it will change the sound. Whether it's better or worse is kind of up to you. I personally like to beat up the front end of an amp. I think it sounds cool. Having a really distorted front end of an amp and then having your echo and reverb not be, to me sounds like you fixed it in the studio. And I don't like that. That doesn't work for me. I don't mind distortion on my echo. It's fine. It doesn't offend me at all, and it doesn't offend Eric Johnson, and it doesn't offend Jeff Beck, and it doesn't offend The Edge, and it didn't offend Jimi Hendrix. So it's just a different school of thought. There's no right or wrong. Put it that way. That's the best way to say it. You be you. You do your thing, and whatever makes you. So I would humbly suggest trying every combination you can think of. Even get on paper and write a matrix, and try it. See what you like. There's going to be one that you immediately go, I like this better. And for me, it's going straight in the front of the amp. I like beating up amps. I don't care. It's fine. But I like to play dirty. And I like a little bit of distortion in all my stuff. Even the clean sound, I like a little bit of distortion. I think it sounds more rock and roll. It sounds cooler to me. The effect order does have a big difference too. And again, there's a lot of, if you just Google, what order should I put my effects pedals in, you'll see kind of there's some standards. But there is no right or wrong. Well, if Hendrix did it, it must be the best thing. Yeah, if you can play guitar like Jimi Hendrix. It might not be the best for you. I've been trying for 35 years to sound like Jimi Hendrix, and I can't do it. Do you offer channel switching amps or foot switchable boost features? Almost all of our amps are that. Jamnalaya. Every one of our amps has 2 channels. or 2 modes, and they're all foot switchable. So the quick answer is yes. Dan, are the Celestion Blues still made in the UK? Yes, they are. The ones still made in the UK are the Alnico speakers and their Heritage line. And then the information that I have about the stuff they make in China is it's exactly the same parts, same cone, same voice coil, same magnets, everything, except for the labor's cheaper. It's making a speaker is kind of labor intensive. Hang on one second. So, yeah, I think they switched over with the G12H30 and the Vintage 30 and all those speakers. I think they moved their production to China in 2006 or 2007. And to be honest with you, we bought them when they came from England and we bought them when they came from China. I can't tell any difference at all. It's and to tell a secret, they're more reliable now. I used to have more rejects when they came from England than I do now. So for me, it was an improvement. Every pallet of speakers I got, there'd be a couple that I needed to send back. And now I haven't sent back a Celestion in years. I buy 10 or 12 pallets a year, maybe, depending on a busy year, how many cabinets we sell, how many combos we sell. Kind of getting more into heads now, but, okay, minimum 6, 7 pallets a year, and I haven't sent one back. Marco says, mine's a Chinese Vintage 30. Sounds just perfect. And what is weird is I bought it in the UK at Watford Valves. Yeah, that's right. Well, Celestion's corporate headquarters are still in London or outside of London. And the box was from Watford, not Celestion. So, yeah, it could be. What do I think of that creamback? I really like it. Somebody writes here, Hendrix's tone secret was the use of a coiled cord. That's part of it. You know what I think Hendrix's secret was? He was Hendrix. That man, could pick up anything and make it sound like Hendrix. I think you had to be him. His hands, you're right. That's exactly right, Joe. Hendrix is Hendrix. You got to be that guy to sound like that guy. I mean, not that I have a signature sound, but no two people sound alike, Yeah, everybody wants to sound just like Hendrix. But if everybody sounded like Hendrix, would it be special? Would we still go, oh? Be like, okay, it's another guy playing guitar. I think part of the magic of Hendrix is that he's so unique and so uncopyable. Often imitated, never duplicated, sort of thing. So, there you have it. My humble opinion. So, what other technical questions did you have? I know there's a bunch. The Creamback's really good, Chad. I think it's a really nice speaker. It's basically an M that can take some power. Dynus. I got it. Yeah, everybody wants to be Hendrix. I mean, trust me, if you could do it, you'd probably get some work. And personal satisfaction to be unparalleled, I think. What time is it now? It's 1:20. So, what do you guys think? Bottle of red wine? Are you offering me a bottle of red wine, Eric? Pink Paisley asks, what causes the popping noise when the bump switch is switched? That's a great question. So one of the reasons it pops is because we're switching high voltage. And believe it or not, it would be a whole lot louder with all the work we did. When you're playing, it's not as loud. When you sit there by yourself and switch it back and forth, it pops. When the circuit's not charged up, it'll pop more. There's no way around it and to achieve the functionality that we have. Take care, Dinus. Got to run. Happy Thanksgiving to you too, man. Thank you very much. So Pink Paisley, it's a compromise we had to make in order to get that bump to work like that. We had to Charles stop. What flavor of $2 check? No, I'm good. Thanks, Eric, on the $2 wine. I'm good. Lodvar, thank you. Happy Thanksgiving from a guy who doesn't celebrate Thanksgiving. Thank you very much. Let's see, gotta go late in Norway. Yeah, man, go to work tomorrow, darn it. Earn some money. And go visit Arna in Oslo. I talked to him this morning on Skype. His store's rocking. And what's the name of the band? I just blanked on their name. The guitar player in their band, this huge Norwegian band, just walked in while he was on Skype. He was like, God, I love being in Oslo. Look who walks in. And it was Blomstein Morty Orvi Blomstein. I can't speak Norwegian at all. Another question. Is the EF86 a microphonic noisy tube in general? Yes, very much so. Very, very much so. There's no such thing as a quiet EF86. There are some that are noisier than others, but they don't have quality. Hey, you too, Joe. Hey, you guys got to look Joe Gorfinkel. What's it called? Angry Christmas? Look it up on YouTube. It's hilarious. It's a really cool video. Yeah, it's the day before Thanksgiving, and we're all going to kind of get out of here. Pink Paisley, yeah, unfortunately, the EF86 is very noisy. It just sounds so good, you put up with it, you know. It's like you don't buy a Ferrari for the gas mileage, right? So, yeah, the Dario is a really good one. That's a really good one. And also, Watford is a great. If you live in Britain or in Europe, Watford Valves is a great place to get. Put heat shrink on that tube, though, Pink Paisley. That will quiet it down. That's what we do. You'll have a turkey sandwich for all your friends in the U.S. All right, thanks. Well, you know, Thanksgiving, what we're celebrating is European settlers coming over here, wiping out the indigenous population. So because of that, we gorge ourselves for a whole weekend. Makes sense. Night, night, Mick. You have to work tomorrow, too. Take care, man. Thank you for your time. It is late over there. You guys are up late. Chatterama. Does the heat shrink thing work on 12x7s? Yeah, it works great. Works really well. Just 1-inch heat shrink. I don't know what that is in metric, but 1-inch heat shrink. What is your opinion of the octal preamp tubes like the Gibson GA20? You mean the, what is it, 5879? Is that what's in the Gibson? 6SJ7. Oh, yeah. They're cool. I use them in our Apollo, our bass amp. I like them. They're great for clean sound. The distortion's a little ratty for me. May we use condoms on preamp tubes as well? Fuck yeah. I mean, yes. Naturally, of course. Use the one with the big tip, though. You know, maybe rainbow colored. I think that would be good. So anyway, 6SJ7s, 6SL7s, they're really cool tubes for clean sound. Um, you know, they're big, so there's more bandwidth on them. They sound nice. The distortion's not my favorite. Oh, I get thirsty in here talking for an hour and a half. My trash can full of Arrowhead water bottles. Man, we got a fantastic crowd. So, okay, so I want to give my thanks. Oh, wait a minute, Marco. I was looking into a long plate. He says it's not good for a cathode follower. Yeah, the electroharmonics ones don't work in a cathode follower. They can't take the voltage. The JJ ones are fine though. But all the old long plate tubes are fine. It's just the new sensor stuff, the electroharmonics. LPS, I think, is the name of the tube, or just the regular LP. They don't like being in a cathode follower. Yeah, Sovtech. Yeah. Ben Keeler asked, could you substitute 6SJ7s for 12AX7s? If you'd have to change the tube socket because the 12AX7 is a 9-pin mini and the 6SJ7 is an 8-pin full size. So 6SJ7 looks like a little 6V6. It's the same base as a 6V6. You know, if you wanted to, change the tube socket, you'd have to drill your chassis out and all that stuff. It's not complicated. It's just a pain in the ass. It's not hard to do. It's just no fun. That kind of work is tedious. You know, you got to take a big, huge bit and through your chassis and then create mounts. Yeah, I guess you could make an adapter. It's a big tube to have floating up in the air like that. Yeah, I guess, of course, you could do that. I hadn't really thought about that, but I think that's sort of wouldn't be my favorite way to do it. Sorry. So a 12AT7 would be a better option. What are you trying to achieve, Ben? What is it that you want to do? Let's start from there. So it depends on what your goal is. What kind of amp are we talking about? And what is your goal? Yeah, the substitute was not real. It sucked. I mean, basically all it did was disconnect. That way you could run a 12AX7 in an EF86 slot. And all it did was disconnect the screen grid and the control grid from the EF86, or would allow you to just stick a 12AX7 in the socket. Ben Keeler, so you have an AC30, less gain. On an AC30, one of the best ways to clean them up is to lower the gain in the phase inverter. Because the gain stages in the preamp aren't that hot. I wouldn't put a 6SL7 or something like that in there. I don't think you'll like that pushing EL84s. One of your big problems is that EL84s... Oh, my cable's all messed up here. Hold on. Sorry. One of the big problems is that EL84s don't have a lot of clean headroom. Even an amp with 4 of them doesn't have a lot of clean headroom. But in an AC30 circuit, a lot of the distortion is achieved at the phase inverter. So my first attempt at cleaning up an AC30 would be put a 12AT or a 12AU7 in the phase inverter and see what you think. The AC50s came with a 12AU7 in the phase inverter for that reason, to make them big and loud and clean. Most people switched it to a 12AX7 because they figured out once you do that, the thing sounds like a Plexi. It's great. Second attempt would be try a lower gain tube in V1. It depends on which channel, also on an AC30, because what year AC30 is it? Is this a vintage one or is it a new one? Sorry, I got Facebook messages going here too. Oh, you have a new AC30. Okay. Yeah, same thing. Try the phase inverter first. Put get a vintage long plate, 12AT7 or 12AU7. If you get one of the new ones with the little tiny plates, it's just going to kill it. Those tubes are, what's the word I'm looking for? How do you say it? Shit. Get, like a general, Doug's tubes. Doug Preston has really nice 12AT7s in stock, I think. General Electrics. Try one of those. If you can get a Mullard long plate, that'd be good. If you can find the old EI, they went out of business about 5 years ago. EI made tubes on old Telefunken machinery. And they made a 12AU and a 12AT that were pretty good, and they're cheap. They sound great. You have an NOS Telefunken in V1 now. That's cool. The challenges with that amp are really more the transformers than the circuit, because the circuit's fine. The amp sounds pretty good, to be honest. So I'm just clearing out Facebook messages here. Yeah, there's a lot of things you can do to that amp to make it sound better. I mean, it sounds pretty decent the way it is. I don't know what your budget is, so I can't, I can give you different options. I don't do the work, but I know guys who do. But, if you just need more clean headroom, try sticking a vintage long plate 12AT or 12AU in the phase inverter. I'll sell you a second amp if you want one. I'm going to quit playing, Chad. I need to go get some lunch. And it's the day before Thanksgiving. Jamalai says, sorry, I missed what you said about the brand of power tubes that don't work with a cathode bias amp. Oh, no, we were talking about which brand of tubes don't like to be in a cathode follower. All tubes are happy in a cathode biased amp. Which MFG is best? Oh, which manufacturer is the best? I like JJ Power Tubes for new stuff, for what I use. You're gassing for a Ventura. Well, that has a 12AT in it, so there you go. I can help you with that gas, Ben. Do I still have any amps you're selling to fund the move? No, I sold them all. This is it. This is the last one. Sorry. I do have my huge Leslie cabinet if somebody wants to buy that. I have a passive Leslie cabinet. It's really cool. So oh, can I make another statement? Don't ever invite me to play a game on Facebook. I'm a grown man. I get so many of these requests. It's crazy. So anyway, sorry, Eric, I've been doing sales for like 3 weeks. Thank you, Dan. Wish you the best on your new business move. Thank you. I'm inspired by your amps and your business style. Wow. Thank you, man. Right on, Motion Path. Thank you, sir. Stratocaster Mojo says, hey, Dan, thank you as always. Have a wonderful... That's right. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. There's a lot to be thankful for. I'm thankful for you guys. I'm very thankful for my crew and the people that really do the grunt work around here and the world, actually. I just want to say I'm grateful. And I'm grateful that we got through a horrible election. And I'm so extremely, extremely grateful for my wife and my children. You know, I get to do the fun stuff. I get to sit here and design amps and, you know, do my show and talk to a lot of nice people and all those sorts of things. But there's guys here that work their ass off. And I'm very extremely grateful for them. And one of the things I always tell my children, for example, my children are lucky enough to have a horse. And that makes the phone ring. And there's all these guys walking around. Jesus Christ. I'll wait till that stops. There's all these guys walking around shoveling poop and feeding their horses and sweeping the floor and doing all that stuff. And I know they're the lowest paid guys there. And I always make sure my daughters thank them every day and thank them at Christmas and thank them on Thanksgiving and make sure they know that we appreciate them. So for all you hardworking people out there who spend your money on our gear or whatever you have to spend it on, thank you. Thank you so much. I love the working man. I love the little guy. And there's nobody that would have a business that's successful without them. And I appreciate you. So on a day like this, when we're getting ready to eat more food than humans should ever eat, just think about people. Do the right thing. Try to let someone know that you appreciate him that maybe doesn't know it. So, yes, Eric, those CDs did work. And they're great. So anyway, that's my humble 2 cents for Thanksgiving Day. A lot to be thankful for, and a lot of people right now in the world that are hurting and unhappy. And I want to make sure they know we love them. So anyway, I'll stop being a preacher because I know that drives some of you guys nuts. That's who I am. I love the little guy. Because I come from little guys. So anyway, last call. Any questions? Yes, Mike Francischini is a great guy. You're right. Absolutely. Very grateful for Mike, everybody here. They put up with my ass all the time. And great Thanksgiving, Eric Yar says to everyone else on the chat window. Well, guys, last call. I'm going to go ahead and call it a day. And go start doing Thanksgiving stuff. If you don't have any other questions. Motion Path, thank you again for purchasing this amp. I'm so thrilled to be done selling amps. Anyway, happy Thanksgiving again. I'm muttering, and I will see you guys next week if I can be here. Now, fair warning, this move's going to get crazy, so my show might get a little slapdash. But it's not going away. Everything is really good. I'm talking good. So, be grateful and thankful. And on that happy note, take care, fellas. Happy Thanksgiving.